Hello and welcome to the Tuesday stream where we'll be continuing the Sea Temple. Very excited for this Sea Temple. I made this dark water shader. You know, I can see the dark water, but I'm not like crazy about it. I think I might have a better idea if I actually roll up to it in my boat. So it's going to be kind of hard because it's a long way away. So what I want to do is create a little island for myself so that I can easily test this. Hello, Jinkid. Welcome to the stream. So I think what I'll do is start with my little island. So first thing I'm going to do, oh man, I made this shader in a coffee shop using remote desktop. And it was kind of hard to see even how it looked because it's a very sort of, darker waters is a kind of a subtle effect. So it was really hard to see in the coffee shop through the remote desktop and on the tiny little laptop and weird coffee shop lighting and stuff. All right, so I've accidentally closed my game view because I'm a fool. So now I'm gonna click on the deep dark water patch, and I'm just going to turn off the collision to make sure that we can sail in it. What is this other collision I see? So I click on it and I see the collision. Oh, it's apparently just the collision deactivated. I didn't even know. I didn't know that collision even showed up when the component was deactivated. But anyway, I'm going to try to roll up to it in my boat. So I need a box, a cube. And I don't know if this is going to work. I think that we're going to have issues because of the markup. I'll put it just under the water here so that we can kind of start on top of it. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to mount our boat. And I'll place the player on top of it. And then I'll grab the boat, the ocean boat, or maybe an ocean boat. I'll type in ocean. Boat. This is the ocean boat position. That's interesting. Does it always go to that? No, that's... Huh. What prefab do we use? Let me start us off here with the ocean boating start settings. Ocean. I think that starts with a start. So let's see. Let's pop into play mode and see what happens. Here we go. Well, Unity is still getting its bearings here. All right, here we go. So here's our boat. The game is very laggy, which I think is the inspector. Yeah, well, that definitely is better now. I also have this boat amulet. Okay, so if I use that, it summons my boat. That actually might be useful. Let's see if we can just put our player out there on that little island and then summon our boat, because that would just be much easier to test. Be right back. Okay, so I've put my player on this little island for testing, and I'm going to set our start settings to developer start settings. And I don't know if I start with the boat amulet. Let's see. Sea temple. No. Okay, let's get the ocean boat start settings and let's duplicate those. And I'm going to start with, I'm going to call this something else. I'll call it like Sea Temple start settings. Sea Temple start settings. And then I'm going to hook up that Sea Temple start settings. I've got to make sure that we actually start with the spell that we need, which is going to be Temple Razor. So let's go starting acquired spells. Yeah, there it is, Temple Razor. Okay. Man, and this is actually with, oops, I forgot to disable the start settings or the start position. So I don't want to teleport here. As long as it is to get into play mode right now, this is actually really fast compared to how long it could be because we're doing no domain reload right now, which is crazy. It's crazy that it takes so long to get in and out of play mode. Actually, it's so crazy that I'm actually questioning whether we're even doing no domain reload. And no domain reload itself took a lot of just a lot of things we had to do to the game to make sure that it ran like that and didn't give us errors. But I'm wondering now if we've since removed it because it is taking so long to get in and out of play mode. It's difficult to test anything. I wonder if there's some kind of solution that I could just like delete half the world to test this. I guess I should have been a little bit more disciplined about being able to partition off sections of the world for testing and then put them in a prefab, because this is excruciating. This is absolutely excruciating. It doesn't usually take this long. So I don't know what's going on. I'm also getting this crazy amount of lag. No, it's probably not this. We need that open. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Let me go to the settings, project settings, or I think it's actually in preferences. And should be like an experimental setting in general, maybe. Editor? It's probably an editor. Don't we have some kind of editor settings? It's not going to be in project settings, I don't think. Oh, we do have editor settings in project. Okay. So here we have enter play mode options. Yeah, we have these are dechecked, we don't reload the domain or reload the scene, it still takes 1,000 years, which is crazy. All right, we needed to get that C temple, not use the start position. I think that's all we needed to do. Could be, but I stream a lot, so I don't know. It's weird. Usually isn't an issue. While this is jumping into play mode, I'm going to be right back. Okay. Wow. Unbearable. Guess I could like control delete, see if there's something in task manager, because this is really unbearable. It doesn't normally take this long. We're not even, okay, we're at 90% memory. Who's using all the memory? Well, Firefox is using quite a bit. It's weird. Why would Firefox need so much memory? I do have 2 tabs open. It's like crazy. Okay, I closed 2 tabs. Still is not loaded. It's just like, what? Why? I'll close Blender. I mean, we shouldn't have to close Blender. Blender's tiny. I'm going to have to close Unity after this. Twitch. Maybe if I pause, I think... No, I'm just in the dashboard on Twitch. So that shouldn't be too bad. It's still not doing anything. And Steam, unfortunately, I cannot close because we have this annoying thing where when I run it in play mode, it latches onto the Steam API and then it won't unlatch itself. So I can't exit out of Steam either. It's just absolutely freaking stupid. I mean, it's stupid. Let's get a kill. Let's just kill. We can't work like this. It's completely unworkable. Okay. I don't know why Unity Hub is open. Not that it consumes very much. I don't know why Unity Hub has to be one of these programs that is always open. Why did they decide that they needed that? Okay, it's not even using that much CPU. It's just using a bunch of memory. It also killed suspiciously easy. Like it was just waiting to die. Okay. All right. What should we... Hoping that just opening Unity again solves our issues. We're still using 70% of our memory. Well, like Unity Hub is like... Why would Unity Hub consume 260 megabytes? Like that is just so insane. I know software today is absolutely insane, but it's so crazy that Unity Hub, which is a freaking launcher, It's a launcher, can consume 260 megabytes of memory. That is disgusting. It is disgusting and it is unthinkable. I would love a programmer from that team to explain to me how it could use 260 megs. 260 megs is such an insane amount of memory. It's like in the 2000s, that's like as much memory as an entire video game used. Actually, how much memory did the PlayStation 2 have? $32 megs. How much memory did the PlayStation 3 have? No, internal storage. I'm not talking about that. System memory. 512 megs. Oh, sweet. So the PlayStation 3, which was considered a very powerful console at the time it came out, Unity Hub would use more than half the memory of a PlayStation fucking 3. Unity Hub. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. Okay, we're still like at 83% memory usage, so like it didn't really go down. Whether it's going to run faster or not, I don't know. But our exterior world didn't save, so that's kind of a bummer. I guess I forgot to save it. Windows antivirus might be slowing it down. But it's, man, I've been using it for so long in this configuration, and it doesn't usually take so long. So, unless something has changed. Okay, I've got to redo some stuff now, unfortunately. The deep dark water needs no collider. And then inside here, we want our little island. We'll just call it debug launch, debug island. And we'll add, well, really, I should have created a box from this cube. Okay. Quick temple launch island. Lord Matri says, PS3 was so powerful for the price that the most efficient way to build a giant computer was to buy a bunch of PS3s and wire them together. Oh my God. That's funny. I really want to know how it takes. I want to know how Unity Hub takes 260 megs of memory. All right, so let's put our player on our little quick launch temple island. And then, come on, let's put it on. Don't know if we're even going to be able to walk on it, but we'll see. We want to make sure we're using our new Temple Razor Star settings. Okay, that seemed to save for some reason. All right. And then I will save everything this time. Venera says, I need to grab my Steam Deck and play the demo. All right. I was in the hospital when we released it. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, you played it on drugs. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for downloading and playing the demo in your drugged state. Maybe it was even better. All right, so I'm jumping into play mode now. I'm going to see how long it's going to take. Okay, we definitely got, oh, well, it's done. It's already done, guys. It's already in play mode. Okay, well, something was definitely borked, and it seems to be unborked, so that's good. All right, I used my spell. Let's see if I can get to my boat. Awesome, and I can get to my boat and I can launch. So here we go. So this is interesting. I'm in my boat, and I think the dark waters are drawing on top of me. So we got to shove them a little bit further. You know, in the context of the game, I think the dark waters actually look okay. It might be cooler if they were like... I mean, definitely something's up here, right? Everyone can tell. It might be cooler if there was some kind of like caustic pattern going on. I wonder these kind of like swirly things are a little bit meh. I also don't think they should be red or like brown or whatever. But let's see how our temple is looking. Turn my sound up. That was pretty cool. That was pretty sweet. Okay, so I can't dismount the boat. This is the problem I wanted to solve today. One problem is I just wanted to make this dark water look a little bit better, but now we need to be able to dismount. Like, I wonder what I'm running into right now. Is it just the collision for the islands? I think it is. We'll see, though. We'll see. But it's weird, like, this would really confuse players that I can't boat any further. Yeah, because I can't boat here either, which is odd. So I can boat behind it. I can boat around it, that's good. But I can't get any closer here. And this is really weird. Like, what could I possibly be bumping into right here? Let's see, because we need to figure this out. So just looking at the... Could turn on maybe the physics debugger, which is in Window, Analysis, Profiler. Oh, it's not the profiler, you imbecile. Analysis, Physics debugger. Okay, so something is stopping us. But what? Nothing, as far as I can tell. Something, so it has to be something underwater. It is. It is underwater. Wait, no. There's not really anything underwater either. Okay, there's some kind of bump right here. What is this? It's whatever that is. So let's keep this up so we can see it disappear if we find the right thing. Is it inside rises? Yes, it is. All right, that should be simple enough. There's not that much stuff in there. Is it in beaches? It's not the beaches. Is it inside of Sea Temple? It's not inside of Sea Temple. Is it in this other beaches? What? So it's inside of rises. Okay, it's one of these. We're just getting so much lag that it's hard to even... Okay, it's inside Sea Temple. Just didn't seem like it before. Ripple, ripple. The ripples don't have collision, so it's just literally the Sea Temple collision. Yep, it's just the Sea Temple collision straight up. It has a weird collider on top of its collider, so I don't really know what's going on there. But it's clear that we need... God, that island is floating so high. I don't think that we can deal with that. I think we need to reproject this. We need this island to meet the ground. I really should have been more diligent about that because this is a big issue now. The island's got to meet the ground, or the island's got to meet the water. But it should be possible maybe to do this without reprojecting. But the problem is it's going to make this ramp so steep. Oh boy, that's tough. Okay, let me catch up with chat. My Steam profile says I played for 2.2 hours. Oh man, you must have been really out of it. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, there's a lot to it. A lot of back and forth. I mean, like a lot of drawing and then painting digitally, and then I project it and then turn it into a texture atlas, and then she draws on that again. Yeah. Shine111 says, oh, thank you. Thank you for the kind words about the streams. Okay. Of course, yeah, you can ask questions by all means. So I'm going to open back up Blender, which I'm certain was not the issue. Let's find models, Sea Temple. Models. Oh, called it under, no. Should be somewhere here, the .blend file. Just want to find this file. Materials should definitely be in models. Should be in models blends. So alphabetic. Oh, you know what? I bet I never added it. Yeah. There it is. Let's make sure it gets added. Actually, I don't want this. Whatever. Leave it around. Okay, let me open this in Blender. Veneris asks what software Jacqueline uses. She just uses Photoshop. All right, so trying to get all of this stuff flat. What are we going to do about that? I guess the best way to do it might be to, first of all, start with a plane. Because the flatter we can get this, I think the easier it's going to be. I hope we don't have to, oh, let me delete that. Let's add it as an object. I don't want to have to reanimate too much stuff, but hopefully we won't have to. So here's where the stairs meet, which is the most important part. And I just want to try to get this flat. So if I move all of these verts in local space, in theory, it shouldn't have any impact on the texture as it looks to the player. So let me just try to get all this stuff completely flat. And I'm going to have to do that to the drips as well, which is annoying. Here we go. Man, we really have to pull this thing a long way to get it. Okay, we'll pull this one up too. And this will have an impact on how it comes out of the water, which is unfortunate. But I just don't see a good way to keep it flat. It's actually going to have a really bad impact on how it comes out of the water. Oh boy. What am I going to do about that? That will definitely allow us to keep it closer to the water. Maybe I can sort of move this a little bit more forward. Okay, we'll try that. And then, of course, we also need to do that same thing to the drips. and the water line, actually. Might just be faster to redo it. God, sometimes I feel like I'm just so stupid. Can't believe I wasn't more careful about that before we even started, because this is amateur stuff. I mean, I've been using the projection process for a long time. I should know how important it was going to be to get it to be at least close to the water. Yeah, okay. I guess that this is going to be the best way to do it. Oops. Okay, so now all of that hopefully should be in front. The drips should be in front of our render mesh. So there's drips, and now we need water line. And now the collision is also going to have to be completely distorted. So here's the water line. And we'll just move that in local space. Move it till it's just behind. And actually, I'll take the front one and move it to a different layer so that we can better see what we're doing. So this one's the render mesh, and this one is the water line. And I want the water line to be as flat as possible, flush with the ground, because if we have it too far off, it's going to dive under the water when we don't want it to. So we just want everything to be sitting on the water. That'll give us the best shot at the player actually looking like they're going up the stairs, and it'll just be the least weird from a collision standpoint. Well, we all have our moments, I suppose. Well, thank you. You're too kind. You're too kind. No, I'm an arrogant jackass. I don't need any pumping up. Lord Matri says, I feel like a good majority of the time spent building games is feeling stupid. No, normally I feel like a god. That's normally my state. So when I do something stupid, then I really have to reprimand myself. Like, fool, you should know better. Okay, so there we go. The water line should be pretty close now. I'm going to delete the plane. And then this is scary stuff. What's going to happen here? It's going to mess everything up about our animation. Thank you, Wanbakba. Yeah, the baby's coming. The second baby's coming. So, you know, got to take care of these things right now. Then you're going to go into a war zone for 6 months. I don't know when I'm going to have time to cut my hair. Okay, so let's look at the animation and see how much damage we've done. Okay, I'll watch it from the game view. Actually, I'll move my player. Or, you know what? Well, okay, the camera turned on. Perfect. So here we go. That looks fine. That looks fine. That looks fine. That's starting to look not fine. All right. Yeah. It needs a lot of work. All those splashes. That's just too bad. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed now, unfortunately. But at least it floats above the water well, and ideally we shouldn't have to actually have the thing go as high. So let me take a look at, I'm wondering, well, we can change everything, whatever. We animated it all, we're just modifying stuff now. We should be able to change some stuff. So really just the position should be mostly the same. What is this? Why are these missing? That's weird. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. No, Jacqueline just uses Photoshop. She's old school. All right, so I'm going to try to keep this mesh lower. So just grabbing the rises group and turning on the keyframe. And I'm going to turn on this little setting that filters by selection so that we don't get confused by our other keyframes. And I'm hoping that this doesn't do too much damage to the animation. So now I'm going to get it to sit really closely. Hopefully really closely to the top of the water there. Like that, just floating above the water. Got to give it a little space. And I will raise the beaches in here. So I'll turn off keyframe, and I should just be able to raise these beaches. Should just be able to raise their default location. As much as we can, just until they break above the water, and then we'll push them down a little bit. Actually, it might be even more clear. Should we have the beaches just showing? Sometimes I wonder, because it would be very clear where the player needs to dismount at that point. But it would be a little awkward. I mean, why is the actual ground rising? It should just be the temple, right? So, okay, we won't do that. All right. Hopefully none of that pokes above the water. Now we've got to redo so much stuff. So much stuff. The splashes are going to be all kinds of messed up. You know, if I just uniformly move all the splashes forward, that might help. Venera says, shouldn't you make sure to try the collision before fixing all the animations? Yeah, so I will have to fix the collision, but hopefully now, since the base, I haven't actually even updated the collision. But I guess this is kind of as good as I can do. As far as getting it close to the water, I can't really do any better than this. So if the collision doesn't work, I'm gonna have to do something else anyway, and then just modify the collision. But why not? Why not test the collision right now? Let's do it. It would be nice to know the collision is working. So to modify the collision, we're gonna have to go onto this other layer. And first of all, I can see why this was so broken. We definitely want to go much lower with these. Like probably like here, I'm guessing. And this should go way down. Really, it should just let you completely dismount. Quite close, I would think. So we might have to lower all of that. Yeah, let's lower that even more. All right, now we've got to figure out how we're going to modify this. So fortunately, we don't have collision everywhere. We only have it in these one spots. So if I can just move this along the camera or along the local axis, that should enable us to keep things kind of close here. Also, this should definitely be moved out. This will have to be moved out as well. This is getting ugly here because I don't want people to be able to clip through this. So definitely gonna have to move that out. I'll move this out. Just makes absolutely certain that players cannot clip through these walls here. Something like that. I'll grab this edge as well, move that out. Okay, hopefully that's good. All right, that wasn't actually too bad. We didn't have to change too much about that, which is good. Hello, Illusionary Moon. All right, so we've modified the collision, and I'm imagining the boat should be able to drive closer at least, but we still need to be able to dismount, which is an issue. I guess we can do that before modifying the animation. That would be some peace of mind. Okay, so here's a similar island, similar in a lot of ways. So I'm going to look at how this thing is constructed. So we've got, first of all, if I look at the swim walls, because right now I cannot get off my boat. So I just want to make sure we understand the markup here. You know what would make my life a lot easier? If we could just deactivate a crap ton of stuff in this area. Like, let me see if there's a group for like the entire town. Linden's Farm. Like, can we just deactivate Linden's Farm? Can we just deactivate the farm? Deactivate the city? Just deactivate all this stuff. Deactivate the university. The only thing is I'm going to have to remember to turn it all back on. But I think literally everything in this thing should be on, so it won't be hard to figure out. And every time I deactivate a group, okay, now we're getting to stuff that is already inactive, so I don't want to mess with that too much, but I'm hoping this will just be a little bit faster to work. Let's try to find the swim wall. Swim trigger, ocean swim walls. There we go. All right, so looking at the ocean swim walls, there's a hole cut out for that island. So we're definitely going to have to cut out a hole. So that's one thing we know we're going to have to do. Then what else is there? I don't see any other collision, which is kind of wild. Is that all we have to do? Just cut out a hole. That collision is telling us where we can't dismount. But I have to imagine there's some other stuff we have to do. Ocean swim indicator. This is interesting. Bird Island, swim wall indicator. So I think we're going to want to make another one of these. I can't even see this. Collision. I guess that's really all we have to do. It's kind of crazy. Okay. Well, that is going to be actually a little bit tough to figure out where exactly we need that. We could turn on our viz. So let's turn on our sea temple visualization. This shows us roughly where our sea temple is. I think, provided it's still accurate. Let's see. Yes, it's still reasonably accurate. So that's where we're going to have to cut out from the swim walls. Let's do that. We can get a true test. So we need to open. Is there something for ocean? It's probably in terrain. I'm going to guess it's in terrain, but let's open terrain just to check first. All right, so here's our insanely massive terrain file, and here's our swim walls. All right, so I'm going to check out terrain. Terrain is a scary blend file at this point. It's my mess. It's a mess, but it's my mess, which is always easier to deal with than someone else's mess. Okay, so I'm going to mark everything in the scene to not export. So every time I run the exporter, nothing will export. And now I just want to find the one thing we want to export out of this scene, which is this, the ocean swim wall indicator. So I'm just going to mark that one for export. I should also have some kind of swim walls for the, there they are. I will select them. Here we go. Swim walls, bird indicator. Here it is. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to create a new one called Ocean Swim Wall Indicator Sea Temple. We're going to set this up exactly like we set it up for the Sea Temple, and I'm going to mark it to export. And then I can take these walls, or this little indicator, I can duplicate it and I can move it. And I should be able to find our island like this. Whoa! I need to make sure that these are writable. So swim walls is not going to be writable. I forgot to check it out. And now we should be able to export. It pisses me off that we can't. I don't understand why we wouldn't be able to. Let's see. This is a new Ocean Swim Wall Indicator Sea Temple. So I don't know why we wouldn't be able to export that. I will go ahead and mark everything to not export. So everything is converted to cones. I ran the exporter, nothing happened. I didn't get an error. I saved the file, nothing happened. I didn't get an error. So it really is just one of these props. Let's find our swim walls, ocean swim walls. Mark that for export. Save it. Ocean swim wall. Oh, I checked out the wrong thing. What's new? Just being an idiot as usual. Venera says, I have to leave. That was very insightful. Thank you for sharing your development process. Thank you for coming to the stream. All right. Well, thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate that. And I hope you enjoy Songs of Glimmerwick. And nice to meet you. And thanks for hanging out. Rahara, welcome back. Having any more success with the island from last night? I made a dark water patch shader, which took some time, but that's about it. Now we're trying to make it so that we can get out of our boat and walk up into the tower. Because right now you cannot get out of the boat because the markup is incorrect. And the markup for swimming and not swimming is actually extremely complicated, unfortunately. But we're making some progress here. I need to check out the ocean swim walls, and now I'll run the exporter. Hooray! Okay, now it actually exported. And now I should be able to get the Bird Island swim walls. Bird Island swim wall indicator. This one, it seems like I copied over. So I think I want to delete that. Yes, I do. I want to delete this. Then I want to save. And we'll get the other one. For anyone new to the stream, we're working on a video game called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. And it actually has a free demo on Steam that you can play right now. It's a 2.5-hour demo. And when the game comes out, you can continue your save if you do choose to purchase the game if you like it. So definitely go check it out if it seems like your cup of tea. Myself and my wife and one other full-time programmer, we've been working on this game full-time for 7 years. It's a big game. All right. So here's our ocean swim wall indicator for Bird Island. And I am going to... Where's the one we just exported? Ocean swim wall indicator, Bird Island. We should have one for Sea Temple, but we don't. That's odd. Did I not mark it for export? Oh yeah, I didn't. Here we go. Come on, stay on target. Oh, it doesn't want to export. Doesn't want to export that. Okay, well, let's try to run the exporter again. Okay, so we can export. Very good. And then we try to export this, and it's ocean swim wall indicator Sea Temple does not want to export. I wonder if we didn't parent it. I don't remember parenting it. How many stupid errors am I going to make here? There we go. That worked. Okay. Easy, easy. Let's keep it going. Here's our new mesh. So I'll stick the new mesh in the exact spot that the other one is, just because I know that is going to make that is going to be a perfect lineup. So we've got it in the wrong group now, which is fine. And I pop it out, and let's take it and find our underwater temple. There we go. And look at that. Now we can find exactly where we need to put this. So for one, it's a little bit big, but that's okay. It's first pass. It's actually already very close to where it needs to be. So I'm just going to move it over a little and then export it again and then pop back into Unity. All right, so we just need to move it over a little bit more. Looks like that should do the trick. And I do want to make it a little bit smaller as well. Rahara says, I know that in the demo, you can only make a human as the character you play. Is that going to be the only option for the full release as well? At the moment, that is the plan, to only make humans. Jack and I talked about it, and she just canonically does not really want the character to be a Karanik or something, because it kind of just doesn't really make sense. There's a lot of interactions in the game that just don't really make sense if you're a Karanik. But that would be cool. Or one of the other, or a Moth Fae or something like that. All right, I want this swim wall indicator to be really very small around the tower. And in fact, I don't really need players to be able to go behind it for any reason. So I'm going to grab the back and I'm going to turn off the proportional fall off. And we're just going to try to make this little like heart shape here. There we go. And now players shouldn't be able to go back there. I'm going to do it even more. Yeah, the moth phase look really cool. Honestly, I would probably want to be a different... I'd probably want to be someone else too. Whenever I play fantasy games, I always like to pick the weird the weird races. Like the Argonians or the Khajiit or something. So it really seems like we could make this even smaller. There's just no reason that players need to be that far away from the temple. So I'm just making it even smaller. Other than just maybe giving them enough room. All right, cool. So what I'll do now is I'll go over to the other, I'll go over here and we've got to cut a hole. So in order to cut that hole, we'll just start cutting. Here we go. And we can really mess this up by making weird triangulations. So I think it would be best to cut all the way to the edge here and then merge these together and then cut like this. And now we'll start with a very crude hole. We won't make it like perfect, but then we'll start refining it to better match where the player should actually be able to swim. So we kind of made it in the wrong spot, which I guess is not surprising considering I pretty much randomly cut a hole. Okay, let me cut into these and then merge those and then move that over there. Should make that a little bit better. There we go. And then we'll merge this. And then I will cut one right here into there. That should make all the triangulation work a lot better for this whole area. Okay. Now, surprisingly, need a lot of space here. So like I said, just a very rough one to start. And then we need to go in and make it exact, which I'll actually use the mesh to make it exact. But to start, we'll just put this mesh around here. That should be good enough. Okay, I'm hoping that's all we need to do. So I'm going to export that, and I'm hoping we should already be able to dismount the boat. Okay. One Bakba asks, who wrote the story? How did it progress? Jacqueline wrote everything. So in terms of like worlds, like backstory and plot and everything, Jacqueline wrote everything. There have been some iterations. It's been a long journey. Okay, let's see if we can dismount our boat. So let's pop into play mode. First of all, I'm going to save. Rahar says, how are you doing the translations to other languages, by the way? We have a localization firm who is doing the translation. So we just have a spreadsheet, a very big spreadsheet. Here it is. And then our translators, all the different teams, they'll download this and then they'll work usually in their own applications, and then they have their own tomes and things that they keep track of the consistency in the names and the proper nouns of everything. And yeah, they're like writers who happen to know English. That's usually who makes a good translator. And sometimes they have to think of there's like a joke in the game that's a pun, and they need to think of a new joke. Or if there's rhymes in the game, they kind of need to be a poet for a second, or they need to decide maybe if they're going to drop the rhymes if they can't get it to work. One Bakba asks, any influence from Harry Potter when coming up with the idea? Yeah, Jacqueline's favorite book of all time, and she read when she was very young, was the Dark Lord of Dirkholm series, Year of the Griffin. So there's two written by that author, Diana Wynne Jones, who also wrote Howl's Moving Castle. That's probably her most famous book. But there's two books. One is kind of darker, and then one is kind of more comedy and a bit lighter. And that's Year of the Griffin. And that's Jacqueline's favorite book. I think that she had already read some of the Harry Potters before she read that book. But Jacqueline definitely, when she was a kid, really liked Harry Potter. I mean, who didn't? So that I'd be lying if I said that did not get her on the magic school. Rahar says, Dark Lord of Dirkholm is part of Howl's Moving Castle world. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that was the same world. Oh, wow. I thought that they were completely different IPs. Well, I also read Year of the Griffin because it's Jacqueline's favorite book. And I had a blast. I thought it was so much fun. And I definitely feel that the tone of Year of the Griffin is very present in Glimmerwick, in my opinion. This sort of, like, the world itself takes itself very seriously, but then the characters, like, it's not afraid to make jokes, I guess. And this sort of, like, it's almost a kind of British humor, I feel like. And I definitely feel that in Jacqueline's writing of all the characters. Sort of quirkiness in them, and the sort of like absurd situations that characters sometimes find themselves, I feel like is very Year of the Griffin-y. Well, that's really cool. I did not know that. To be fair, I don't know much about Howl's Moving Castle. I only saw the Miyazaki movie. Yeah, I figured. Shine says, the timing of my question might have been unfortunate. It seems like fixing the island is quite a handful. Oh, no. Wait. The timing of your question? Which question was it? I'm scrolling up. I don't even remember. Shine 111. Oh, did I miss a question? Let's see. Oh, yes, I missed your question, Shine 111. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes I just miss them. As you worked on both first-person 3D and top-down games, want to ask which level design principles are common and which are different between these types of games? That's a great question. Let me catch up with... Book Howl is a menace in the most delightful and silly way. Yeah, so in terms of difference in which things are the same, I guess the way that we work, we try to make beautiful like vignettes. That's the same. Like we want these like beautiful postcard moments, I guess, where you have like this really, stunning set in front of you. Like we pick the camera angle and then we build to the camera angle. That's the same. We do that in, I guess I would say it's harder. Well, it's not really harder in 3D, but it's just less likely that the player will come upon that exact camera angle. And that's not necessarily so much to do with top down as it is to do with fixed camera, because Glimmerwick is a fixed camera game. You cannot rotate the camera. That makes it 100% likely that if we compose a beautiful shot, that the player will see it just like that. And that has been really fun. We can guarantee that the player will come across that exact shot. I would say that one thing we do miss is being able to rotate props, which you can't do with the illustrated look. So sometimes it feels like it's harder to get as much mileage out of different assets. But then again, it's slightly faster to create assets. So yeah, I don't know, definitely some trade-offs. But it doesn't feel that different. Honestly, building out the world does not feel that different between Eastshade and Glimmerwick. I would say it was easier to block in large areas in Eastshade because of the ability to rotate props. It's actually crazy how much mileage you can get out of like 3 trees. Because if you have 3 trees and they're really different, if they all look the same, it's gonna suck. But if they really look different, like one is a tree cluster, and one is, you know, just it has like really tall and gangly, and one is just big and wide like an oak tree. They really have very different silhouettes. It is crazy how much usage you can get out of that, and that's true for rocks and like cliffs and stuff. You can build really big areas just by rotating things around and kit bashing stuff together. And it's way harder to do that in an illustrated game like Glimmerwick. So I actually found the world building to be a little bit slower and more expensive in Glimmerwick, because it just seems like we just have to draw everything, like every little thing. Jacqueline's drawing everything. Jacqueline has drawn thousands and thousands of individual illustrations. It's quite insane, actually, how many things that she has drawn. If you look at it in like Adobe Bridge and you just see them all together, it's just like, no wonder this game took 7 years. Like, you've been drawing shit every day for 7 years to like a really highly polished standard. It's crazy. Anyway, I don't know if that answers your question. But yes, we like to do the composition thing. We like to put the camera first and then compose to the camera. We like to do that in both 3D and the sort of 2.5D look. One thing that is nice about a fixed camera, and again, this is not top down, this is just speaking to fixed cameras, is since the orientation of the world never changes, navigation becomes really easy. Players always remember where they're going in Glimmerwick because north is always north. You know, you don't have to keep track of the direction, which helps a lot. I like it a lot. I'm gonna see if we can actually swim now. I'll be right back. All right, and oops, it's snowing, which means that something's broken. In Glimmerwick, the execution order of initialization is such that if it's snowing when it shouldn't be snowing, then something broke. And I think it's because we deactivated all that crap. So it was nice while it lasted, but apparently I'm not able to deactivate all the crap that I deactivated. So we've got to go the slow way and reactivate all this stuff. All right, let's save that. Should work. All right, here we go. Okay, so that's working. Really happy with that. Why can we go under this? I must have deactivated the collision or something. Okay, well, we've got some work to do there. Everyone's done with snow. I've also got to lower that dark water. We've got to push it further down. Let's take that dark water patch. Oh, because we never actually casted the spell. Right. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, because we have this dark water drawing, we have it drawing at a higher order, depth order. We can actually just push it underwater and it still looks like it's on top of the water, which is amazing. We need to turn off the viz, the temple viz. There we go. And then we need to save and hopefully it'll work. You bought a snowblower. Wow. Where do you live that a snowblower is helpful? Minnesota or something? Canada, maybe? I guess if you live in Europe, there's sure in Germany and stuff it snows. Canada, gotcha. Good morning, Floppy Lops. Flopsy Lops. Okay, so now the dark waters look perfect. Awesome. Really happy with that. So this will have to disappear. Obviously, this heart shape, that'll disappear whenever we're whenever you haven't summoned the island yet. Maybe it'll just sort of rise up with the island. I'm not quite sure. But here we go. Let's play our spell. All right, sweet. Now we can get off. Okay. All right, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, really, it wasn't too bad. Had a little bit of friction right here, like just getting caught on God knows what. But it's pretty good. And then as soon as we wall this off so we can't like run back here, then we'll be golden. Going this way, yeah, it feels a little bit janky, but it's okay. It's all right. It works. Oh, man, that's awesome. Oh, I'm really excited about that. How cool. How cool. Still works on me, man. Just get the goosebumps, and I get teary-eyed sometimes when something works and it looks, I feel like I'm somewhere, like I feel like I found this thing and I'm walking up this, and we've got the birds and the ocean and everything, and it's like a fairy tale or like a adventure novel or something. Just I can smell the sea air. I'm really excited. I swear to God, I'm not hamming it up. I get really excited about this stuff. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm so pumped. Okay, there is a little bit, something right here and is making me stuck, and I don't exactly know what it is. I'm sure it's just the collision itself. Yeah. I think it's just really steep right there. So I don't exactly know how to fix it. I'm sure I'm just like at the threshold. of what we can walk on. But this is going to work great. We are ready to go. And I think this swim wall works well. I don't think we need to mess with it too much other than just kind of smooth it out in the back. It's so hard to see. It's crazy how hard it is to see. I don't remember it being so hard to see. All right. It's going great, Flopsy Lops. Glad you're enjoying it. Hey, Nani. Hopefully it's not too spoilery. No way. You got teary-eyed playing the demo? No way. That's amazing. All right. Thanks, Flopsy Lops. Yeah, I don't know. I can smell the salty sea air on that thing. It really came out really good. I'm really excited about it. I mean, it helps that Jacqueline's illustration is just dope to start with, but you know, we put it all together. We got the water sparkling behind us, and I think the seagulls are the perfect sort of scale. I think it's also cool to kind of find the seagulls out in the middle of the ocean, and you got to wonder, like, why are these seagulls here? It's just a little bit of like foreshadowing. I don't know why this deep ocean indicator is so hard to see, but I feel like we need to make it a little bit brighter, just a little bit brighter. So right now it's like at 8. Let's do 12. Maybe that's too bright now. Maybe you can see it better over here. I don't know. Not really. I think we should go with the brighter. It really is. Yeah, there is something magical about, you know, if we had hired more people, maybe we could have got the game done faster. But there is something special about having one person draw everything and write everything. It ends up being very personal and very cohesive and just so tonally consistent with itself all the time that, yeah, it's something special. And it can only be accomplished by just taking a really long time and having a very low amount of people make it. I think it's really special. I mean, I think Jacqueline's work is really special. And I think this game is really special. Okay, but I know I sound like I'm tooting our own horn here a little bit, and I do. I'm known to do that. I'm a bit of a hype man, a bit of a hype man for our studio. I'm a little bit high on our own supply all the time, which is, you know, it has benefits. Got to be careful. You can't get too high on your own supply. Get a little bit too, you know, get a little bit too into your own stuff and make bad business decisions based on, you know, how hard you think your game's going to hit. But so far we've done okay. I say that as, you know, having spent almost $2 million on making this game. So maybe this is going to fail really bad here, but I think it's going to be good. Gary Dean says, I've given them rides home. What? They just sit on your car or something? Hey, Nani says, what better place to hype your game than in your own channel? Yeah, and I don't even hype it in my own channel. I hype it in our house too. I'm hyped about it. Like to our own people, you know, like I'll be talking about how excited I am about it, how I tell Jacqueline how hard it's going to slay. Oh, sit on the back of the boat. Gotcha. Okay, when you were boating. That's funny. That would be cool if seagulls landed on your boat. Oh man, don't give me ideas like that. It's can't. That would be so cool if birds would just spontaneously land on your boat in this game. That would be absolutely awesome and so expensive. It's one of those things. These are hard because when you come up with an idea like that, that is like, it's not that expensive. Like it's not that hard to do that. Like you could probably do that in let's say 2 or 3 work days. You could probably pull that off. You could probably have a seagull that dynamically and randomly would land on your boat every now and again and fly away. But it just doesn't do anything for the game loop. But it also has no downstream consequences. Like it doesn't mess with the game loop either. It's just one of those cool things that makes the world feel more alive. So it's objectively a benefit, right? There's absolutely not a single player who's ever going to say, it really annoys me when the seagull lands on your boat. It's like, it's 100% just positive thing. And it's not like, oh, we're going to have like motion capture animation. It's not like so crazy out of budget that you could never do it. But it is one of those things that if you did every idea like that pops in your brain, if you tried to do it, you would never finish your game. And given that it's so late in development, unfortunately, I don't think we can do it. Got to talk myself down from these things. Hey, Nani, thank you so much. Oh, hell yeah. I love it. You're too kind. You're too kind. All right. So what I want to do is I want to perfectly cut the hole here. Looking at this other one, it seems like it goes to the interior. So we want to do that same thing. Gonna just go to the interior. I guess we can delete this one. And now we can kind of subdivide this. Subdivide. And then triangulate. I'll triangulate this. Okay, and now it should be easier to just sort of follow the contour here. So I just want to follow the contour of what we already have going on. We should be able to change it, and it doesn't have to be super exact, but just kind of follow. The reason why we want it to follow the contour, that visual line just shows players where they can't swim. It's just annoying when, you don't know where you can swim to. So this line makes it very obvious. It is technically an invisible wall, although I would argue it's not invisible. I would argue that it's just the deep ocean. And in real life, you cannot just swim out into the ocean. You can't. I mean, you can technically, like physically, yes, you can physically swim out into the ocean until you swam so far out that you do not have the stamina to get back, and you'll just die in the ocean unless you have insane conditioning. But for 99% of the population, there kind of is an invisible wall that prevents you from swimming out into the ocean. So I will die on this hill that you really can only swim by the shore. You can't just swim out into the ocean. It's not an invisible wall. It's actually less realistic if we let the avatar swim infinitely out into the ocean than putting a wall here that tells players you're too far from the shore, you can't swim any further. So there. I love defending myself against players who are just in my head, have not actually complained yet. But I know the invisible wall crowd is coming for me. I know they're coming because they're always coming, and they always will be. Every game that I ever have any authority in making is going to have some people complain about invisible walls. Catch up with chats. One Bakpa says, what are those holes for you doing? Are they going to be at sea? Yeah, so the holes that I'm cutting, I think you're talking about this hole right here. This mesh is the no swim barrier. So the player cannot dismount their boat when they're inside of this mesh. So these holes are little places that the player is allowed to dismount. And then after they do dismount, this same mesh acts as a swim wall, so they can't swim any further out. Then once they get in their boat, then they can swim into this mesh and they can't dismount. So the player can't just randomly dismount in the middle of the ocean, which is also realistic if you think about it. Because if you're boating out in the middle of the ocean, you can't just dismount your boat. I mean, you can, but not while you're alone, which is the case right now. You are driving your boat alone. You cannot jump into the ocean and leave your boat unmanned. You will die. You will very likely die. The current doesn't look fast, but it is, especially considering humans can only swim like 4 miles an hour. The current will be 5 miles an hour and you will lose your boat. Flopsy Lop suggests like a rip that pulls you back. That's what we did in Eastshade. We did that basically the water is always pushing toward the center of the island, and the further away you get from the center of the island, the harder you're being pushed. And eventually you'll reach a sort of equilibrium where you can be boating and you look back and you're not any further from the island because it's pushing against you just as hard as you're, boating outward. That was a sort of different kind of problem. But honestly, it did work well. I don't remember anybody complaining about it. So I guess that's a good solution. This one, though, is a little different because we've got to define where players mount and where they can mount and dismount. I like this comment from Lemsel. The invisible wall community is biding its time. That's right. The anti-invisible wall community. It does look like a bean, doesn't it? Okay, and now so this swim wall is only going to be something that shows up once the island has sprung. So I guess I will put it in the animation. By default, I will take the swim wall and turn it off. So it's off by default. And then once we get maybe about here, we will turn it on and we'll sort of scale it into existence. Oh, that's not going to work because the pivot is incorrect. So never mind. Never mind. Maybe we'll just parent it to the rises group. I wonder what that looks like. Will we like see it coming out of the water? Yeah, it's a little weird. It's not the weirdest thing in the world, but we'd probably be able to see it coming from quite deep too. So actually, I don't love that solution. All right, well then there's only one option. Gonna move it out of this group, and oops, actually I should move it out of the group once we're all the way at the top here. Then we're gonna move it out of the group, and we are gonna scale it in. So in order to scale it in, we need to sort of give it a new pivot to scale around. Create an empty, and we'll call it like the sea temple. swim indicator wall. And then I'll move that on top, and we'll move this all the way over here. And we'll put it right here so we have somewhere to scale around. And then we'll scale this thing, and hopefully that works. So then we'll put the mesh inside there, and then when we animate this thing, we will scale from this point. So here we'll turn it off by default, and then we'll start animating. And when we activate it, it will be very small, like 0.1. And then by the time the island has fully risen, it will be 1, 1, 1. And how does that look? Honestly, it looks awesome because it already looks like a ripple coming out. So I think it works great. Yeah, it looks awesome. Thank you, Billy. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, now that we know the collision works and everything, let's take a look at fixing all of the crap that we broke when we changed the shape. So I would say the most ugly part is this, the river rapids that seem to be just completely misaligned. So right here, they're perfectly aligned, perfectly aligned, perfectly aligned, perfectly aligned. It seems right here we start breaking away. So I'm going to constrain. Oh, actually, it seems like even right here, they've broken away a little bit. Constraining my, I'm filtering for selection here, and just move it on the Z a little bit. And then right here, I'll move it on the Z a little bit again. Just trying to keep it as much as I can sort of in lockstep with the art that's coming out of the water. And it is kind of unfortunate. It's always going to change a little bit because the ocean is actually rolling at all times, which makes it hard to keep it perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect, fortunately. I'm actually going to scale it a little bit on the X. Just want to try to keep it looking like it's part of the water line. There we go. That's nice. Okay, we're going to move it on the Z. Very nice. All the way to here. I'm going to move it on the Z. It's amazing that it actually is as close as it is, considering how much stuff we did. You'd think it'd be more messed up. Unfortunately, our camera gets deactivated right there, but it's okay. We can see. So here's where it scales out. Just fine for it to scale out, but when it does scale out, it just needs to be far more forward. Even more forward than that. Far more forward, like here. Actually, if it scales out a little bit more to the left, I think that's going to look a lot better. There's just a little bit more of a rock there. It's not looking correct. Yeah, I don't like it. That's looking really bad. We can't have that. So maybe I just want it to go completely off the screen. Like, just want it to sort of leave the area and scale. Just scale down really fast, like right here. We're just going to scale on the Y. We're going to scale to 0.1 already. No, that doesn't look right either. That didn't really do us any favors. We just have to find a spot that doesn't look broken. Yeah, that unfortunately is kind of clipping through. Geez, really having a lot of trouble with this. Okay, well, maybe we just have to be more granular about our keyframes here. So the problem with this is, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's kind of choosing a different place to lock onto, and that looks really bad. So I don't actually want to do that. I want to keep it locked onto this. Maybe we have to introduce rotation. That might be the only way to fix this. So in order to, just going to make sure we have a key here for rotation. And maybe right here, now we've got full ability. We can rotate it, we can scale it, we can do everything. So just keep it locked on to the stairs the best we can. Okay, and then it's going to scale out, and we'll just move it like right here. And when it's here, we'll just try to keep it on the stairs. Oh, there we go. There, I can barely see it now. Okay. Just watching on the stairs. Yeah, cool. All right, great. There's one moment here where it kind of separates from the stairs. I'll try to key the rotation there. This is just the sort of foam, in case anyone wondering what the heck this thing even is, just to sort of cover up that gnarly intersection with the water. There, nice. Gosh, it really falls away right here. Or at least sometimes it does. It's fine. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. Let me catch up with chat here. DB Robs, hello, says, there's a secret cave. Yeah, this stream is full of spoilers. I don't know. There's nothing I can do. I'm working on the game here, so unfortunate. If you don't want spoilers, I think that one just has to stay away from the stream. Apologies. Coratora, thank you for noticing. Water temples. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a water temple. Okay, so here we've got the thing really strays away from the water. And again, it just depends on where the ocean is because we got the rolling water, so it's tough. See, before it looked perfect at this stage, and now it doesn't because the water was rolling. All right, so we fixed that. Now we've got to fix the splashes because they're off as well. So here we go with the splashes. So that seemed all right. It might just be the case that we want to move all the splashes forward a little bit. I don't know. Actually, the splashes seemed okay. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's just fine. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a save and then let's test it. Puzzle water temple, -20. Yeah, there's some bad heritage there, isn't there? Yeah, we don't really do puzzles, so don't have to worry about a puzzle. Glimmerwick is not a puzzle game. So here's my player character. Perfect. All right. I also noticed that there's no sound when the spell casts, and there should be. Also, the Rising Temple breach sound comes way too early. Sorry, way too late. It needs to come earlier. So here's the breach sound, and let's look at the animation. I'm going to start it. So right now, it's at 2.5 seconds. I'm going to start it like about 3/4 of a second earlier. Well, actually, that's a full second right there. Yeah, it's going to start a full second earlier. And we'll see if that's better. And then the sound for the spell, Temple Razor. Let's see if there's some kind of slot that we can just put something in. There should be a cast, so there's no cast sound. Let's see if there's some kind of darker sounding. Shadow attack. That's probably not going to work. No, definitely not. This could be fun. I think it's going to be too loud, though. That one is going to be too, like, big. This one just sounds like you did something really evil. DB Rob says, I was wondering where you guys get your sounds from. So most of the sounds we make by combining lots of sounds together, like from freesound.org. There's another paid site I was using to get source sounds. And I have recorded a couple sounds too. Just random things like dropping potatoes on wooden tables and stuff like that. And I use all those sounds to... You usually end up having to put it like 3 or 4 together in the audio clip, and then I do like pitch shifting and stuff like that. Audio design, I guess they call that. But for some of the spell sounds, we found this spell pack. I think I bought it on the Unity Asset Store that has a bunch of sounds. Actually, it has a ton, and we only use like from 2 folders. There's like chimey ones that are like healing sounds and one other, and we just basically ignore all the others, like the chimey twinkling ones. We use a lot of those, but of course we don't use all the attacks and fire. I guess actually sometimes we do use the fire sounds, spell sounds for some stuff, usually not for casting a spell, but yeah, they're really good. They're really high quality. Rahara says, is the story for Glimmerwick completely encapsulated and it's fully one and done, or is there a possibility for more stories in this world if Glimmerwick is incredibly successful? Well, thank you. Appreciate that. You know, if the game flops, it would, of course, be very stupid to do another one. If the game was extremely successful and made a lot of money, would we want to do another one? It is so weird. It actually doesn't matter how successful it is, because we are always just going to do what we want to do. We're definitely not, when we start working on a game, never once have we thought about, well, how much money is this game going to make? Which is odd. It is odd for a business to not do that. Most people do that, and most successful indies do definitely do that, and they have to do that. But for us, it's just completely, we're just pretentious artists, and we just do what fills our hearts. So will there be a Glimmerwick 2? I don't think so. I don't think we would make a Glimmerwick 2. Because after this, we're gonna move on to another 3D game, potentially merchant related. And I don't know. I don't see us coming back to Glimmerwick. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it's not like the more successful it is, the more likely we are to come back to it. Because like if it makes, like, let's say it grosses $10 million. I mean, we'll never need another 10 million. Like we don't need, we're not looking, we're not growth. We're not a public company. We don't need to keep just making more and more and more money. If Glimmerwick grossed $10 million, that means our net take home would be like 7 or 6. I mean, Money Game would be just about over for us. The only thing we need money for is to pay people if we want to hire them. But like, we wouldn't be looking to like, oh, let's make a game that we can make another 6 million. It's like, what does that get us? 6 million is enough to pay for all the childcare we could ever want. It's enough to get a house wherever really we wanted. We're not into yachts, so that would be it. We would just want to make more games, and as long as we had enough money, 6 million is enough to pay a couple people too. We don't want to manage a big team. I would never want to go and hire like 5 programmers or something. Honestly, I really enjoy the team we have right now. Just the 3 of us is so much fun working. I'm kind of scared to expand it, if anything. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no plans to make a Glimmerwick 2. Anything is possible with enough money, yeah. A merchant game, or DB Robs asks about the merchant game. No, not a shop simulator. You would be more, you're traveling the world as a merchant. You're buying and selling things. And it would be very quest oriented. It's totally Eastshade Studio style. I mean, everything about we're never going to make a game that doesn't have a bunch of quests in it. But in this case, the game loop would be buying and selling stuff. Rahara says, I know that if money wasn't a worry for me, I would still want to be creative in the ways I already am. Yeah, for sure. That's beautiful. Valheim made so much money, they stopped development by month 2. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, it is interesting when you finish a game and you ship it. It's like everyone, if it's successful, everyone plays it, and they're like, the relationship that a player has with a game is so different than from a developer, because I bet by the time they shipped Valheim, they felt like they climbed Mount Everest. I bet they felt like, oh my God, we built this giant thing. It's been through so many iterations. We've grounded our souls into dust making it. We've come so far. We can barely fathom to even go another step. And look, we did it. We made this amazing thing and people love it. And when people play it, from the player's perspective, the first thing they do is start thinking about the future. Like, what about updates? Like, it feels to the developer, when you ship it, your journey is at its end. But to the player, their journey with the game is at its beginning. And they're now looking to updates, and they're saying, aren't you going to work on the game? Like, it just came out. But it's interesting because, yeah, I mean, Valheim was a very finished game when it came out. Like, it was amazing. And I'm sure, the road that it took to get to it being amazing was absolutely grueling and unfathomable. It was probably more work than any normal person can fathom, and more iterations and more relentlessness, like more relentless commitment to making it good. So, yeah. I don't know. I kind of wish that we were in the 90s, when you finished a game, you would just ship it off and that was it. One moment. uh, Corator says that's how I'm feeling about future updates. Yeah, we're definitely going to keep working on Glimmerwick for a while once it ships. Making a very big update relative to team size, and I'm like, where's the exit? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. All right, so I think we've just about done most of the things I wanted to do. I think that maybe we want to make this water a little bit darker. Just make it a little bit more obvious. Right. Oh, we were looking for a sound for that temple raiser. Asia, hello. Says, I don't know anything about making games, but I love eShade. So excited for this. I'm rock on. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That's the best. Okay, so the full song music. No, we don't want that. We want the cast sound. Right. I was trying to find a cast sound for this. I'm going to lock the inspector. And we're just looking at different audio clips. Well, now I can't play. Okay, well, I guess I'll unlock the inspector. Temple Raiser. I mean, that could be cool. What about this one? These do sound a little bit evil. That sounds pretty cool. Maybe if we turned it down a lot. Okay, I like... It doesn't have quite enough attack for what I know will probably be needed. But it's kind of surprising. Let's do it. Let's surprise the player. Okay, so it's going to be Shadow Spell 14, and it's Temple Raiser. Shadow Spell 14, and... Oh, we already have a volume control, which is perfect. So we definitely are going to want to turn this down. I can just tell by the waveform that it's absolutely huge. And let's give this a test and see how it feels. DB Robs says, do you feel like knowing how to make games makes you enjoy playing them more, or it kind of kills the magic in a way? Yeah, it's so interesting. A lot of people talk about that question, and it is crazy to me how many people answer that it kills a bit of the magic. For me, it does not do that at all. It actually makes it way more. I enjoy games as much as I ever have. And when I find one that I'm enjoying, it's like the best. I mean, part of that too is I have so little free time. I simply don't have any free time right now. But if I ever did block out like an evening to play a game, and I got a cup of tea and I sat down, I would just be whisked away. I would be in heaven. I absolutely love games still. I love them so much. I love playing them, and I get excited when I play a game that I think is really clever about something. I mean, I enjoy it, but I'm also like extra excited about it because I'm inspired too. Like I'm inspired in my own work. I'm inspired to I immediately start thinking, oh, how could I do something like this? And maybe for some people that's distracting, like always thinking about just sort of drawing that joy, just it sort of turns into inspiration, and then always just compulsively funneling it into into like your work and the games that you're making. But for me, everything in life already does that anyway. So like I look at a door, I see a cool door, and I start thinking about, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a cool door like that in Eastshade or Songs of Glimmerwick or whatever we're working on. So kind of used to it. But no, I absolutely love video games. I still love them just as much as I always have. And I would say that my appreciation for them has only gotten deeper the longer I've worked on games. I cannot ever imagine being done with this. Some people like joke about, that they can't tolerate another year in the industry or whatever, or they're just like ready to be done with games. I can never, ever, ever picture it. When I was 16 years old, I said I want to make games for a living, and there not a single day has gone by that I feel like that I want to do something else. It's just, that was it. Just completely over and out. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And my cup is so full just doing it. And I want to do it when I'm 60 years old. I hope my brain is still plastic enough to keep doing it, because I want to do it forever. Coratora says more but different. Yeah, I've heard that answer as well, like that it kind of changes your perception of how you enjoy games. I would say for me, I still have I can still feel the exact same thing that I felt when I was a kid. Like it's kind of, I have these parallel feelings of like analyzing it as a designer or as a craftsman, a maker of games, but it doesn't mute that other emotion I have when I play a game. For me, it kind of leaves that untouched in a way. Small Gumball, hello and welcome. All right. Thank you for playing Eastshade. So glad you enjoyed it. I'm going to test our temple razor here. Okay. All right, now this water here is definitely looking pretty evil. So I'm gonna sail away from it a little bit, and I'm gonna start to come back. I just want to make sure that water is it's really obvious something is going on here. I think it's pretty obvious. I don't think anyone can miss it, right? Well, I could barely even hear that flash sound. Well, that was pretty sweet. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. Okay, let's see. Can I dismount right here? No, I can't. Can I dismount right here? Yes, I can. That's exactly what I want. So I can swim around here, and now I'm walking, and that's perfect. And I'm not even getting caught on this thing I was getting caught on before, so I don't know what that's all about, but this is absolutely perfect. I couldn't be more pleased with this. Honestly, that this whole operation has gone a lot better than I thought it was gonna. I'm wondering if it needs a camera magnet. That's maybe the last thing I'm thinking that might need. Maybe this little bit of collision we can smooth out, and then maybe a camera magnet. But other than that, we're going to put a portal at the top to take us into the interior. All right, good to hear. The dark spot looks very different. Thanks, Small Gumball. Little layer issue on the left side. Yeah, you can kind of run over the... You can kind of run over the rock a little, which looks a little janky. But there's a bit of that in Glimmerwick in general. Don't know. Maybe it is worth it to... But try to fix, but I don't know. Oh, I see why. We have this little crevice in here. And maybe that's why we're having the issue. Let's cut right here just to make sure we don't have that crevice. I bet that will make the collision a lot more reliable in that spot, especially if I do a cut right here. Yeah. Yeah, I bet that's going to work way better. So the only way to fix the layer issue would be to sort of, we could squeeze the path smaller, but I think that would be confusing because it certainly looks like you should be able to walk there. Then we'd have to cut this right here. It actually wouldn't be that hard. Let's do it. Let's do it. What I'll do is I'll just take those faces and I'm just pushing them out. I duplicated them, and now in order to make this draw in front of the stairs, I'll use this extremely highly technological shader system called cutting it out with my hands. And Jacqueline's going to polish this up too, so this might not look exactly like this, but even if she changes the silhouette, I find it's pretty tolerant. Like, even if it doesn't, like, usually players are running past so fast they don't even really notice, so I will just keep cutting here. And I like to just cut to the edge every now and again, just because sometimes the cut glitches out and I don't want it to glitch out and then have to start over. Oh, see, the cut messed up. Uh-oh. What happened? Seems like somehow this part went under. I don't really know how that happens or when that happens, but it's very annoying. Let me put it on a different layer. I could have sworn we pushed it off. I don't know why this is happening now. Super annoying. Oh, look at that. It's like completely messed up now. Let me actually undo. I will undo that cut because that was a pretty bad thing to happen. Okay. Should undo even more there. Oh, it undid every, sweet. Really? You undid every cut I did? Well, like what? You undid every cut I did. Fuck that. God. Why? Why would it just undo everything in one giant stage? So stupid. God. Absolutely asinine. I'm going to put some cuts first. That should give me some safety here. And then start again here. I'll be a little bit less precise with it. Just because I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think it'll already look really good for it to protrude at all in front of the player. It'll already add so much perception of depth. It doesn't have to be a perfect cut. Look at that. It really wants to go behind here. I don't know why that's happening. Very odd. Okay. Gary Dean says, don't think it's improved in newer versions of Blender either because my history is just gone when I need it most. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps sinking underneath here. But I'll move it to another layer. All right, here we go. Perfect. Now we should be able to delete all of these. Oops. Delete the faces. And put it back on the main layer. And there's a couple things we can do. But I reckon the easiest one might just be pushing all of it in the direction. Actually, you know what we can do? We can maybe grab all these edges here and then invert the selection. And then I reckon we can go into local mode and just push them in the direction of the camera. And that should make it so looking, well, we'll see how it looks. Hopefully we don't have any weird shadow issues. If it casts a little shadow onto the stairs, that's fine. But hopefully that's all it does. Rahar says, as a 3D rigger friend of mine says, Blender gonna blender. Hey now, that's slander. Blender's good. Blender's good software. Honestly, the cut tool in every 3D program I've ever used has been pretty shit. 3ds Max is the best. In case anyone was curious. Cool. Yeah, it casts that little shadow on the stairs, which actually adds a lot of depth. We might just want to do it like in the painting. Yeah, it definitely adds a lot of depth to this. This I would expect to be able to walk out a little bit further to the edge, but I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna kill myself trying to. Well, it is pretty wide right there. Okay. We'll do it. Look, but we shouldn't. I don't know why. Why this is an issue. You'd think we'd be able to walk over there and bevel right here. And then grab this. And then move it on the global. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's really down here that felt like more of an issue. Okay, let's take that. Let's take this. Bevel. Then add. And then try to move that one out. There we go. Now we should have a bit more leeway there. And we'll take this as well. Make sure players can walk all the way to that edge to the fullest extent. Okay. And I guess right here too, maybe we want to go a little bit wider, potentially. Could be wall thickness. Okay, well, we'll go with that. Export. I'm probably going to fall through when the collision reloads itself. Yeah, that's fine though. I definitely like the shadow. I think that we should probably add it to the illustration. Well, we already have it checked out, so it's really not a big deal to add to the illustration right now. Let me see if it, turn off this. See if this is on a separate layer. It's not. Oh, actually it's pretty easy to select all those stairs. I will select all this stuff. Maybe turn down tolerance here. And I'll put it on the very top layer. And I'll just kind of paint something. I think that's where the cutoff is, yeah. Paint some kind of cast shadow here. I think that's good. Might be better if the shadow fell with the contour of the stairs. But anyhow, I'm going to blur. Because we don't want a sharp shadow, we want a soft shadow. Because the other one is soft. And then, yeah, that looks really good. Gives a little bit more depth. And of course, we want it to be less intense than that. I'll set it to like, I could set it to either overlay. I think overlay seems to work pretty well. Just knock it back a little bit there. Even less here. Yeah, that's good. And we'll rely on this one popping out to give us the shadow for the other, so. I could barely hear the cast sound, which is crazy. So I do think we need to increase the volume of it just a touch. Hello, Argos. And what else did I want to do? We already smoothed out that collision. Oh yeah, we need a portal. I don't think we have an interior for the underwater. We don't have a temple interior blocked in, as far as I know. Would be cool to get started on that. Okay, let's test this. Yeah, I turned the cast sound down to 0.5. I thought it was going to be really loud. Make the temple all drippy and wet. It is all drippy and wet when it first comes out. Maybe the drips need to stick around longer. See all the drips? Still dripping. And now, okay, so it looks like this shadow is a bit blue and this one is a bit orange. So I think we want to make it more blue. Here we can get them to match pretty closely. If we just, God, it already looks so blue here. It's crazy. We'll just add a bunch of blue to it, I guess. I've like maxed out the blue. Okay, saved. And it's significantly darker as well. Okay, now that it's darker, we probably need a little bit less blue. There. Now they match actually quite closely. That's pretty convincing. I almost want to let the player go over more now so that they can really... I mean, we are clipping through a little bit here. To really get this to work, I think we'd have to pull these out even more, which would make the shadows longer. I don't really know if I want that. What does it look like at a different time of day? Because there's no guarantee that this is the time of day that players are going to find it. Look at that. So now the blue is too much at a different time of day. So I'm going to desaturate it just a little, just in case. We don't know what time of day the players will find it. And I forgot to enable this gradient layer here. So there's the gradients. Now it looks entirely too blue again. I'm going to desaturate it some more. Okay, now it looks like basically a perfect match. And then when we go back to morning time, for some reason it still matches. So, I mean, it is a little bit more blue, but I think that works well. I could do that. That would definitely look a little bit better if we completely separated out everything on the left side. Okay, and it looks perfectly fine at night. Maybe this gets a little bit too bright. The water line gets a little bit too bright. Sea Temple water line. Just darken it a little bit. Also, we should have some control over how much the ambient. So we have ambient factor at 0. Put that ambient factor at 0.5. There we go. Actually, I was already thinking it was a little bit too bright, so it's fine. But the ambient factor should be at 0.5. Right now, the ambient factor doesn't affect it at all. There we go. So now I'm going back into daytime, just making sure that the lighting on that water line looks good. Yes, I think it looks good. Doesn't need to be as bright as it was. Also seems like it could have a little bit more green pumped into it. There we go. Now it looks a little bit more like water. Yeah, but that stuff next to it is not as green. So let me try to balance that. Okay. I don't know, guys. Maybe I shouldn't be green at all. I'm very pleased with this water temple. Very pleased indeed. Now it looks too dark. I can't make up my mind. Okay. Duke22 says, is this the same game you were working on last time? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Thanks, guys. All right, so I don't actually think I even need this to test. Like, I'm pretty sure I can just put myself in the middle of the ocean. And I don't think I need that little launch island. Like, I'm pretty sure my avatar will just be walking on water. And then we can just summon the boat and it would be fine. Oh no, she's actually swimming. So everything is completely fine right now. Perfect. Look at that. It's amazing. And we can summon it one more time. Yes! Yes! That looks awesome. It looks awesome. I'm really pleased with it. I just couldn't be more pleased. Okay, we need to put in an interior now. I can never remember all the markup required to make an interior. But I'm pretty sure we don't have one placeholder. I'll constrain my search to prefab. No, we don't have one. So in order to make one, should we put caustics? No, no, no. The seat, it already looks good. We don't need caustics. Caustics. Come on. Good Lord. Get a hold of yourself. Make the game. Finish it. Finish it now. Ship it. Let's go. So here we can put a trigger to enter right at the top. C temple. We'll put a trigger portal. There's a door portal, which is not what we want. We want a trigger portal. So we'll stick the trigger portal in here. And we'll find it. We'll set it down. Right by our temple. I don't know why it's so incredibly massive. We will scale it down. Cortor says, that was fantastic. Thank you. But the water effects don't get fixated. Wait, oh, never. Oh, yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. No, I see. I know. Yeah. I know. It'd be so fun. It's so fun to take things further and further and further. Just make it better and better. It is helpful to have that kind of attitude. It's funny because I feel like that is that impulse to just like keep going and take it further and further. That is why our games sell. I honestly think it is. I honestly think without that, our games would not make the cut. They wouldn't excite people the way that they do when they see them. But that same impulse can also make you never ever ship your game. So it's tough. It's tough. You got to balance it. You got to keep that fire. You got to keep that desire to keep going, but you can't let it get in the way when it's time to ship. Okay, we don't need heavy door close here. So I'm going to put none. And we're going from the exterior world. It's a trigger portal. It has no open sound. And the to world name could be anything, but I'm going to go wand maker interior. All right. And we'll put trigger portal to C temple. Oh yeah, I had some follows. Purple stuff. Thank you very much for the follow. Really appreciate that. Small gumball. Thank you for the follow. Illusionary Moon. I don't think I ever thanked you. I'm sure you're not around anymore. It's been a long time. Okay. So here's the trigger portal. Paste the name Wandmaker Interior. It doesn't go to the Wandmaker Interior. I just am testing it. I just want it to go somewhere to start. And let's save. Okay. I'm jumping into play mode. Gonna summon this sucker. Okay. So it works. Of course, the leaving doesn't work because we need to set up the correct markup. Yeah, gosh, it really came out quite good. I'm very pleased with it. The audio is really good too. Like that shadow spell sound really worked very well, and it transitions really nicely into the breach sound. It sounds very epic. I'm very pleased with how it came out. So we need a new interior for the Sea Temple. I guess I'll start with the dorm. I know the dorm hall has a bunch of stuff that I want, a bunch of sounds and caustics and stuff. So I will start with the dorm hall interior. It's a pretty complicated interior, but I think it'll be all right to start with that. And we'll call this the Sea Temple interior. All right. Then we have to go into main, and I have to go into the interiors. And here's this broken interior. I'll put the dorm hall as a child of that. And I'll put it at 0, 0, 0. I assume this has its own spot in space. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, I don't want the dorm hall interior, actually. I want the Sea Temple interior. Of course, Sea Temple interior. Okay, delete that. There's the Sea Temple interior, and I need to make sure it has its own spot in our weird interior world here. Gosh, it's so laggy, it's hard to even do this. Yeah, we can't have it there. I don't even think it's going to be possible to place this thing. Yeah, because I clicked on something else in the process. Let me undo. Let's see, what is like Yellow Hall? I can just put it behind Yellow Hall. Will that be correct? I don't even know. Somewhere over here. Okay, we'll say to the right of whatever this interior is, which is Swish and Stitch. Okay, so let's turn everything off except for Swish and Stitch. Hello, Delulu. An interesting open. Let's turn on the Swish and Stitch, and then let's put it to the right of that. because we knew that that was an open spot. And then we'll float this thing in the air. What level is the swish and stitch? The level is on the Y, it's 100. We should put it at 100. The stream is going very well. Much productivity. I don't think it's the haircut. Could be translation. Could be a bot. Could not be a real person, would be my guess. Okay. All right. Oops. Can we do the ban who? Yes, we think you're a bot. Although now you've responded to voice, so it seems unlikely. We think you're a bot because you keep using baby, and it just seems very strange. Strange and uncalled for. Okay, so looking at the positioning of this, I like to use discrete positioning. So let's go 370 here. Maybe a little bit more, like 400. Negative 590. I see. Also, your questions are so generic, like how long have you been streaming and how's the stream just seems so generic. There's a question. Oh no, that question is also generic. What types of games do you mostly like to play is also a generic question. This is why we think you're a bot. But I don't think anyone has bothered to make a bot that understands audio yet, so. All right, so we've got the Sea Temple interior, and there's so much stuff we need to delete out of it. Let's go ahead and turn off the swish and stitch. I should pull up the concept for the Sea Temple interior. So let's open, should be in concepts, SOG concepts, and I will search for temple. Sea Temple interior. There's 2 Sea Temple interiors. We'll open both of them. Analytic collector. Oh, they do have bots that listen. Oh, they have an Instagram too. Okay. All right. So there's some kind of referral spam thing. All right, let's ban Delulu. They seem to be not really contributing anything to planet Earth, so let's get them out of here. We think that you're up to no good. Oh yeah, okay, and you've got the woman's avatar there. Absolutely no reason. No reason to be asking such generic questions, no reason to be using baby, and certainly no reason to be a woman and using the word baby. No woman on earth would come into a random stream and do that, so we know that you are bad. As fun as it would be. Okay, yeah, here we go, ban. Okay. All right, the fun's over. Okay, temple small. So that's not the one we want. Here we go. Here's the Sea Temple interior. Awesome. We've got our statues. Got the water. How are we going to do this? There's so many different ways that we could do it. Do we want to just make a mega texture and do it all? It's going to be a pretty big texture, to be honest. It's a pretty big temple. Cortor says, I made bots for Warris sites for Hotline back in '98. Wow. Oh dear. Adam Jeffries says, weren't you complaining that AI is literally stealing your time at all levels across everything? Yeah, exactly. And there's another one, perhaps. Potentially another one was just doing it. Yeah, that's all AI does. It tries to extract money from us. While giving no value. I'm feeling, do I want to make another giant texture? I know, okay, so the water, we're definitely not going to want a texture. It would be so much faster if I just projected this thing. Although the baby will be here soon, and I don't know how much time Jacqueline is going to be having to polish up interiors. Oh my God, the baby is going to be here so soon. The baby is going to be here within 3 days for sure. What will become of us? So these things are definitely going to have to be little waterfall meshes and stuff. So all of this stuff, but look at all this texture and stuff, and then this gradient. It's going to be so much faster. But like looking, okay, so the player can zoom, I would say, at least this far in, which means from here to here is 2,000 pixels. So looking at that, we've got 2,000 pixels from here to here, which means 4096 for this is actually going to be like barely cutting it, potentially not even cutting it. Valley of the Wind says baby can help. Beta test. Oh, I know. I mean, we've had one, so be our second. We have childcare help, and a lot of it. So hopefully that will help, but it is unending. At least if we cut the thing in half, then, oh, do I want to model it? I just don't know if I want to model all that crap right now. These will definitely separate out because I don't want to model anything like that. We definitely want Jacqueline to draw those rocks. Don't actually know how this is going to terminate at the top. And then the statues could be separate. Like we could just atlas the crap out of this thing. Oh man, you know, these are going to have to be spine rigs anyway. So maybe I shouldn't even consider the statues. Just trying to think of the best way to do this. And once we do like this texture is going to be so annoying to implement. Like it's not going to look so pristine and perfect like it does. I don't even know. I don't know how she comes up with this stuff. Like this weird like bubble wallpaper or whatever. I mean, it looks really cool. And we obviously need something for that texture. So, okay, let me catch up here. Babies crying at night is still burned into my soul, usually right after you get to sleep. Yeah, the phantom cries, I still get phantom cries every once in a while. Finally, it's worn off a little bit. I mean, my son sleeps pretty well now. He's almost 3. Adam Jeffrey says, having 2 kids myself, I barely have time for anything. How do you find the time to launch a game in the midst of all this? Well, maybe hold the salute until we launch. I don't know. Lord Matri, not the baby, silly. The texture. Yeah, I mean, one thing is that this is our job. So, you know, we're not like, we don't have a full-time job and 2 kids and trying to do this. This is our job. So we've got the 2 kids and this is the only thing that we have to do with it. So my boy is 12, much easier, rock on. Very cool. That sounds like a blast. I look forward to when the kids are older. It's going to be a long road. I mean, my boy is so happy right now. He's really a little treasure. The world is his oyster. It's really fun. Well, one thing I could do at least, okay, at the very least, let's cut it in half. But then we're going to have the mirroring right here. I hate that. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove these first of all. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff. So I'm actually going to delete them and we're going to save this as C temple interior text. We're going to do this the right way. My drop bear is 6 years old now. What is a drop bear? Coratora says you have 3 babies. Baby 1, Glimmerwick, and baby 2. Yeah, and what about Eastshade? Eastshade is like an adult now. We don't have to care for them anymore. They're off. Yeah, my son he's really into saying that's kind of silly or that's kind of funny. He'll like do something silly and be like, that's kind of funny. And it's so freaking cute. Just going to delete all these statues out of here. He has so many little ideas, so many little machinations. I love seeing this stuff in the house. Like, you just find a little pile of something lined up in a very odd way. You can just tell he had some kind of idea he was going for with it. The other day we found all of his cars lined up in the track of the sliding door. He was clearly making some kind of train out of them. So cute. James H says, rare type of koala that likes to fall out of trees and maul your face. I got one to keep the emus at bay. What? This can't be serious. Be right back, folks. All right, so at the very least, we can take this. Well, first of all, let's get rid of the UI here. We don't need that. Let's get rid of the screenshot in the back. I'll get rid of the background. How can I even get, there's the background. Okay, let's delete the backgrounds. I think we can delete the water too. Okay, that's actually going to get pretty annoying. Let's delete it though. Here's the other bit of water, delete that. So here's that cool wallpaper texture. So all these other groups were just used to create these statues. I will just delete those. And then, okay, so here's those recessed walls, which I guess I'll keep those around. Okay, this is all like just texture stuff. We're gonna need more than that above. Okay, what is this? What is going on here? I don't think that's anything. I think that she was just drawing something else and it managed to stick around. All right. I don't think we need any of this down here, so I'm going to delete it. I doubt we need any of this, whatever it is. Let's see. Okay, that's just part of the little recesses in the walls, so we'll delete that. Don't need any of that. And we'll polish those up. Why is my computer cranking so hard right now? Oh, because we're in scene mode. Okay. Are these okay? These are Australian jokes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that is what it was. I bet that is what it was. You're so smart, Koratora. Let's get rid of these little puddles. And these little faucets, I'll get rid of them too. Just delete them. Actually, maybe we'd leave the faucets at the top. Nah. Well, I'll just... I don't know. I can't decide. I'm trying to decide if I should leave these faucets at the top. I'll at least just move them onto a different layer and then we'll delete everything. Okay. And I don't know if I want this cobble in the middle. We will have to... This little bit on the bottom, that's fine. We'll leave that. Okay. We need everything to move down. So including just every single layer in the entire project to move down. And we need to move it all the way over here, almost as much as we can. To like maybe here. Okay. So then we've got to try to fit this thing into a square. Okay. I don't understand why the cropper has to be so stupid. Perfect. So we are going to be able to fit this in a square, especially if we cut it like right there. We need a little bit more space on the top. I'll leave a little bit. I will leave a little bit there, just so that we can have a bit of overlap for the actual mirroring trick to happen. I wanted to stop being so obtuse. Like, I guess what we want is to move it over a little bit. Okay, there. This is essentially what we want. But we do need space for this one. And I don't know where we're going to find it. We might get away with sticking it in there somewhere. But we definitely want to... Here, we'll put both of them... Well... You know, this is probably not going to work. This center platform, I guess we can keep around. So, is this all one group? God damn it, nothing is grouped. Nothing. Okay, these two things, they make the platform. So I'll group that. We'll call it platform. And we'll stick them here. And then we'll move that over onto the side here. I'll turn off auto select. Come on, I turned it off. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. So I'll move the platform over as much as I can. We'll delete this little scale. Actually, we'll keep him around just so we can scale it properly. Then the question is what to do with this. We know we need to fit it into a square. It's going to be so damn hard. Maybe we should just mirror this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overcomplicating this. What we can do maybe is take like the bottom piece of this. Okay, gotta actually find the layer first, right? Here it is. Let's take the bottom piece. Then at least we can vary the bottom piece, and I think that that will give maybe a really different impression to make it feel like it's a different piece. Like if she really changes the silhouette over there, then it won't look so mirrored. Yeah. Otherwise, we're just going to delete this. Okay, now let's see if we can make this thing into a square. Let me catch up with chat really quick. Oh, we got lots of activity here. No, you're smart, Koratora. Hey, rock on, Spectre. Appreciate the kind words. Glad you stumbled on it. James says, I have 2 highly skilled kangaroos stand guard by my property. Oh my God. Really pushing the Australianness to a new level. Michael, hello. All right. Yeah, it's actually almost night where I am too. It's 7 p.m. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate that. And thank you for the kind words on the haircuts. Does the trick. It's the last haircut I'll get in a while, probably. With the baby coming. Oh, right. I don't even have that much room to stick that. I truly do not have the space to put this. You know what? Here we go. I'm going extreme here. Let me undo this. I'm going to delete this right here. And I am actually going to, I wish there was an easy way to delete off of every layer, but there's not. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to delete. I will click on every single layer. There we go. And now I'll get this pillar and we'll see if we can fit it. We'll see if we can fit it on the square texture. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But it will really help the impression that this thing is not mirrored. So let's. Oh, I think we're in business. That's actually perfect. I mean, it's not perfect, but there's just enough space on top to finish, finish this stuff up here, and it's going to be fine. Okay. So what is our resolution now? So we are at 3159. So I guess we'll go 4096. Which is a big old texture. James, always appreciate your ridiculous stuff. All right, my light is fading. I need to put a second car seat in our car before the light is gone. That's how close we are. It's so close, any second now. So I got to do that before the light goes away. I'm going to have to call it a stream. I want to thank everyone for hanging out while we build this super freaking cool sea temple. Really pumped about it. I'm so excited. And if you're new to the stream, please check out our game on Steam. It's called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. And I usually say it's wishlistable now, but not only is it wishlistable now, you can play the demo. The demo is a little over 2 hours long, and you can play it for free. And if you like it, when the full game comes out, if you want to buy the full game, your save transfers. So, you know, it's basically just starting the game, you know, starting the full game for free to see if it's your cup of tea. So please go try that. And if you like it, don't forget to wishlist it. Spectre of Starman, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate it. And hopefully I will catch some of y'all next time. All right, peace out.